Hey everybody, welcome back to Finance and Crypto, a fresh news source for the latest news, trends, and updates in the space, so you're always in the know. I'm your host, Rose J. Now, before we get started with with the articles that I want to go over with you all today, I just want to touch up on the previous video that we put out there in terms of U.S. investors and the percentage or the amount of debt they use to fund their cryptocurrency investments. I want to hear from you all. How do you guys feel about that? And what do you guys think about the U.S. citizens actually utilizing debt such as revolving credit cards or different type of loans to actually fund their investments? What are your thoughts on it? And how do you think that could affect our ecosystem going forward in the future? That's the only thing I want to say about that. Now, moving forward, in terms of one of the articles that I want to talk to you all about today, it actually happens to come from CNBC, one of the mainstream media, cohorts for putting out FUD in our market. However, this actually isn't FUD. This is, we can actually look at this as a good thing. It says here, according to CNBC, the largest U.S. cryptocurrency exchange, Coinbase, is going to be launching the Dow of cryptocurrencies. Much like the Dow Jones Industrial Average that gives a sense of the American economy, this fund tries to reflect major trends in the cryptocurrency market. According to the CEO of Coinbase, Asif Hirji, he actually told CNBC it's a very simple to use, easy way to get exposure to the crypto assets that they offer on their exchange. The Coinbase index fund will give accredited U.S. investors exposures to all assets listed on the company's current exchange, GDAX. The currencies will be weighted based on market capitalization. Much like how the Dow Jones, as I said previously, industrial average is based on the basket of 30 stocks that are meant to actually give a sense of the American economy. This fund will try to reflect major trends that are going on currently at that time in the cryptocurrency market. Since Coinbase is a leading marketplace for U.S. investors, this is actually going to be a big deal. Now, when you take a step back and you actually think about how this is going to affect the market, there are pros and there are cons. When you think about the pros, this can actually be viewed as a good thing when you think about the possible infusion of liquidity that could be actually inserted into the market. I mean, currently, due to the correction that we're actually dealing with right now, I believe we are at, around $360 billion in terms of total market capitalization due to the FUD that we're experiencing with the whole false Binance hack that transpired over the last couple of days. That has been essentially driving the market down, which is also rolling concurrent with the news from the Mt. Gox trustee that actually stated that over the course of 2017, I guess you could say through the latter portion of 2017, through the fall and the winter and even early January, it's been showing that the times when he was actually releasing a lot of his Bitcoins, it was actually driving the market down. So when you put all that into perspective, or you put all that into its place, and then you think about where the market cap was in terms of its all-time high, around 830 billion back in January, and then we also hear news about what Coinbase is doing with in terms of this article giving large institutions the ability to actually take funds of, I think the minimum amount is about $10,000 that you can actually use to invest in a multitude of digital assets at one time. This in the long run is actually a good thing, because what it does say to to cryptocurrency investors and people who are on the sidelines or thinking about getting involved in this ecosystem, is the fact that cryptocurrencies are alive and well. I mean, when Coinbase, which is SEC compliant, is stating that they are now going to be putting together a fund for large institutional investors to actually participate, this is actually a good thing. So I'd like to definitely say, kudos to Coinbase. We appreciate what you're doing, and hopefully some of the major players in terms of exchanges in the game actually follow suit with this, because all this does is actually give cryptocurrencies that much more of legitimacy, and that's exactly what we need in this space. Just to finish up on the article, it says here that only U.S. residents are legally allowed to invest at this stage, and I believe the CEO is also stating that that's mostly and largely due to the SEC oversight that's actually being, played out right now, currently as we speak. So all in all, I don't think it's the worst thing in the world for the ecosystem in terms of crypto space. And I do think that there are a lot of positives. So we'll see how this plays out, as 2018 rolls out. And we'll take a gander back at it, maybe in a few more months. Now, the second story I wanted to speak about today also comes from CNBC. Now, this is a more serious story, more on the FUD / important / serious side of market news in terms of what's going on in the space. So this article states that the SEC just made it clear that security laws apply to most cryptocurrencies and the exchanges trading them. Now, that doesn't just include Coinbase, Bittrex, Kraken, and some of the other ones operating in the US. They're actually stating that cryptocurrency exchanges that are operating outside of the US must still comply with SEC regulations. It says here that the SEC statement marked an expansion of scrutiny to companies involved with trading, in contrast to previous publications that focused on the digital coins and their developers. I think the next step, this is in quote, I think the next step here will likely be subpoenas to exchanges if they haven't already started, said Ryan Scowen, Senior Financial Services Policy Analyst at Washington Analysis. Ryan Gilbert, partner at Propel Venture Partners, which is indirectly a minority investor in Coinbase, said the SEC statement could also be a precursor to some enforcement actions. End quote. So essentially, furthermore, when you're going down the article, it's also stating that the U.S. Securities and Exchange Commission is looking to apply securities laws to everything from cryptocurrency exchanges to digital asset storage companies known as wallets. So this would include things like Ledger, NanoS, Trezor, KeepKey, etc., etc. Starting here, it says that if a platform offers trading of digital assets that are securities and operates as an exchange, as defined by the federal securities laws, then the platform must register with the SEC as a national securities exchange or be exempt from registration, the Commission said in a statement on potentially unlawful online platforms for trading digital assets. The statement marked an expansion of scrutiny to companies involved with trading, in contrast to previous publications that focused on digital coins and their developers. So, what does this mean for cryptocurrencies? Some might say it's FUD. Some might say this may just be the beginning of cryptocurrencies actually passing that threshold from being thought of as, weird or geeky or nerdy to part of the mainstream. So what do you guys think? I'm going to put the link of both articles in the description area below. I want to hear what you guys have to say. What do you guys think about Coinbase actually, trying to, I guess you should say, merge both the traditional markets, traditional equity markets with the crypto space markets and actually make that very similar to people? And what do you guys think about the SEC trying to lay down the hammer, not just on the US federal regulations and exchanges here, but also exchanges operating outside the US? So, that's all we have for this one. If you guys like this, please like and subscribe. And if you want to hear more, or if there's anything that you guys want me to touch upon, I know we just started, but we're here for you guys. So just let me know, and we'll see you on the next one. Like my boy Crypto always says, keep it cryptic.